Hello and welcome to another one of my videos. In making ukuleles, there is a little bit of a problem in how you tune them. Now, if you don't have a tuning fork or an electronic tuner, what do? Now this note is an A. It's that one. That's a bit better. So if you don't have a piano out in the countryside, what else can you use? You can use one of these. Your school recorder, thumb on the back, 2 fingers will give me A. That works. Now I can't afford to be giving away a school recorder with every ukulele just to tune it. So I tried making a tuning fork and that was rather complicated. So what other resources do we have? Well, we have PVC and we have broomsticks. So let's try making one of these, a tuning whistle. So I'm going to get my broomstick in the vise and find center. First we'll just mark it, then a small pilot hole, and then a larger pilot hole to then use a brace and bit, but it will split. So a solution to that is a hose clamp. So I'll just tighten up that hose clamp to stop the broomstick from splitting. And I'm going to drill down as far as I feel like. So that hole is around about that deep, and I can make a mark there just to remember that, and I'm going to cut it off a little bit further down. But before I do that, let's do the sound notch. About 1 inch back or a couple of centimeters back, I'm going to cut straight down to about halfway. Then I'm going to come back about a couple of centimeters and cut a 45 or to 60 degree angle back. Clean it up with a bit of sandpaper on a stick, and now I can cut it off. And now I'm going to need to plane down a piece of broomstick or another stick. So we're going to end up with a stick that is going to plug that end there. We want it snug, but not that it's going to break that tube. And we can make fine adjustments with some sandpaper so that it's going to fit nice and precisely. And it should slide in flush with this back face here. I'm going to make a mark here and then cut this piece off with a protrusion so that I can still get it in and out of there. With a knife and some sandpaper, I'm going to cut off a flat on that where the air is going to pass through. So that will slide back in there so that it lines up with the top. So I will trim the end off and also cut a diagonal. Clean it up on some sandpaper. So there it is, and just give it a blow. It makes a sound, but it's not tuned to the right note, I don't think. Now to tune it, I could trim that end off there to expose the tube and then get another peg and slide it up in there, trying the note until I get it to exactly the right pitch I want, to the right note, glue it there and trim it off, and there I will have it tuned. Now I wanted something to do something a little bit more robust and all-terrain, so I got a piece of PVC pipe and did exactly the same thing, and there's the exposed end. Now it is a little bit fiddly poking that stick up there and get in exactly the right place so that the tuning is very precise. A slightly more accurate way is to actually cut that off, and then, as I did with the PVC, it's easy, just cut it off, and it doesn't have a plug. So when you blow, nothing happens. But what you can do then is get something to block off that end, and it will sound. So you go trimming off a little bit by a little bit and sanding it back until you get exactly the frequency you want. And you could glue a flat piece of PVC onto there just to make it sealed, or you could do, as I am doing now, is just take the ukulele itself and on the body, without scratching it, stick it on there to block off the air. And there you are, ready to go. And once you have the A, you can do the other string, 2nd fret there, should be the same. Then down to, on the next string from the A to the 5th fret, should be the same. And then back to the 4th one, and the 2 middle strings should be the same. And there you have it tuned.